Hi everyone, it's Vicki. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm doing something a little new. I'm going to call it Venus and Mars Go to the Movie, and just kind of give you a little bit of a review on some movies that we've seen lately. I should preface this by saying that we have bought a monthly pass to Regal Theaters in our area. It was only $18 a month, and you can watch unlimited movies in their theater. Now, they are the 2D movies, but all of the 8 theaters at that cinema have reclining seats, and we go to the daytime shows when it's not busy at all. In fact, today there was only 5 other people other than us in there, which has been about the case. There's never been, I don't know, probably more than 10 people. So it's been really nice because we're going to movies at noon or 3 or something like that. So, and we're doing it during the week. So anyway, so we're starting to catch up on some movies that you all may have already seen by now, but we haven't, because we haven't been to the movies in a long time. Pre-COVID for sure. I think I won't even get into it. But anyway, it's been a long time. So Venus and Mars Go to the Movies. In other words, Jerry and I, completely different male-female versions. And the first movie we went and saw was Top Gun Maverick. And Jerry liked it. And he really enjoyed that movie. He wanted to see it. He picked it out. He was, very happy with the movie. I thought the first one was way better. He thought they were about equal. The first one really got into, now this is my opinion, the first one really got into the characters more. And it talked about all the characters. I think in Top Gun Maverick, now the name is Top Gun Maverick, that they only talked about Tom Cruise's character, Maverick. That's the only character they really paid much attention to. And it almost seemed to me like you had the first Top Gun and you had this one, and that there's something in the middle missing. That was my overall feeling. Like the woman, the love interest he had that he went back to after 30 years, who is she? Is she the old character from the first one Kelly McGillis played? I don't think, McGillis, is that her name? I can't remember. Anyway, I don't think that's her, because she wouldn't be old enough for that character, I don't think. I mean, Kelly McGillis would be too old for that character. And then that character had a daughter. Where'd that come from? I don't know. I don't like to give away too much of a movie. One of the things Jerry really liked about it was the action, and I will say it had a lot of action. It was pretty suspenseful for me. I'm not a big suspense person, and it had a lot of, like, what's going to happen next, kind of thing. But I really overall wish they had developed the other characters so I could like the other characters. I felt like I barely knew the other characters, that everybody was just there to support Tom Cruise coming back in a movie. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. Anyway, the special effects, they did a really good job on that, making it look like there was fighter jets coming up between other fighter jets. I want to be careful what I say, because I don't want to spoil a movie for anybody who hasn't seen it. But yeah, they did do a very good job on that. Storyline was fairly good, I guess, although you really had to suspend your disbelief. In fact, Tom Cruise's character says in there they have to do one miracle followed by another miracle. And that's all I'm going to tell you about specifics in the movie, so that I don't spoil it for you, but if you haven't seen it. But anyway, is it a movie that I enjoyed watching? Yeah, I would say it was. But was it, to me, a really great movie? Not really. It wasn't, I wouldn't watch it again. I mean, no, I wouldn't go watch it again. And there was a movie that we did see that I wouldn't mind seeing a second time. But anyway, so my husband gave it definitely a high score, and I gave it a mediocre score. It was kind of, it's always interesting to see a follow-up movie, because you kind of want to, if they're going to catch up what happens, and the whole thing with Val Kilmer being in the movie, well, I can't say anything about that because I don't want to spoil it for you. So anyway, that's kind of how I feel about it. If you like special effects and you really like if you're really into the first Top Gun, then you might care for it. What I liked in the first one was less about the whole jet fighting thing and more about the characters, the personal relationships. What is it? Jerry calls them interpersonal relationship movies. He doesn't like that. But Yeah, so I liked the whole storyline on the first one that way. So for me, it's an okay. So, all right, the second movie we saw was Where the Crawdads Sing and Sings. And in all fairness, I read the book. I read the book about a year ago. And Jerry had no clue about the book. I mean, well, he knew that there was a book and he knew I read it, but he had no idea of the storyline. He did end up finding, just before we went, he saw something that said that it was about a trial. And I told him that's just one part of the story. I think that as far as a movie that follows a book, I think they did a really good job. But you do have to remember, a movie is much shorter than a book, so you aren't going to get quite the detail that you would get in a book, of course. But he liked it. I don't think it was one of his favorites. And Jerry got really uncomfortable with some of the violence in the movie. I will, a little bit of a spoiler alert. There is some physical violence, and there is some sexual assault. And that made him very uncomfortable. I saw him in the movies, especially during the sexual assault. You could tell he was uncomfortable with that. And he's not into a lot of personal relationship movies, like I just said about Top Gun. That wasn't important to him, so that's why I like Top Gun more than I did, partially. But, and this has, it's all about people and their relationships. But he did enjoy it, and I think it had enough going on to keep him interested and all the little different things that go on in that movie. And as far as having read the book before I saw the movie, I think it took a little wind out of the sails for me. I say that because I could see that Jerry was really kind of into it, what's going to happen next, or whatever. He was engrossed in the movie. And for me, I knew what was coming. So I kind of wish I had seen the movie first and then went and read the book. What I like about the book is that there's so much description about the marsh and the life in the marsh. It's almost like the marsh is another character in the book. In the movie, it almost is. And believe me, there's some beautiful cinematography in this movie. But it couldn't quite... it can't match the book, and I don't think it ever would unless the movie was, four more hours long or something. But yeah, and then there's parts of the movie that there's parts that they just had to like gloss over real fast, and like when the character goes to another city, and they didn't really show a lot of that, and but it was good. I liked it. I thought it was a nice movie, and if I had not seen or not read the book, I think I would have really liked it, because then it would have all been a surprise. And it has a huge surprise ending. And again, I'm not going to do any spoilers. But they were very true to the book, I would say, mostly. I read the book a while back, maybe at least a year. So I don't remember every detail of the book, but what I did see in the movies all seemed familiar to me. There was nothing where I said, hey, I don't remember that, being in the movie. I think one of the things that I did miss just a little bit in the movie is I think there was a little closer relationship in the book to the couple who owned the marina, bait tackle marina store. And they made that seem a little more surface than it really was. But and I would have liked to have seen those characters just a little bit more, but maybe I'm just remembering the book wrong. But they really stood out in my mind after reading the book. So basically, I think both of us enjoyed that movie. I think he enjoyed Top Gun more. I definitely enjoyed this movie more. Well, thanks so much. You all said that you were interested in hearing, movie reviews, and I really don't think I want to rate them. I think I just want to tell you what I think about them as opposed to rating them. But yeah, if you watch the Crawdads, you'll love the scenery, let me tell you that. And if you watch Top Gun, you'll probably be impressed with the special effects. So Thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll turn around and shoot another one on the next two movies we saw.